Yeah, good morning, everybody. It's been a minute, but I am back with some insights of information that I've gathered over time, and I believe this information is very important. As a lot of people have been thinking of going back to Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, looking to go back home to retire after being in the diaspora for a long time. Because as you all know, retiring in these first world countries is very difficult or very different from retiring in maybe a rural part of an African country or Chinese country or Indian country. Because over here, your bills continue, you still have to pay high taxes on your house, you still have to have high insurance on your house. So even the little pension you have can easily be spent within a short period of time. And that would, of course, lower your standard of living over a period of time. There's a saying that a majority of the people in the US or even the developed world like England, they die poor because if you depend on your pension, it will be eroded in a short period of time, especially if you want to maintain the same living standard you've been living for the last 20, 30 years, maybe as a bank manager or as a doctor or a scientist. But when you stop working and then the pension kicks in, and then you don't have enough savings, or if you have enough savings, or your 401k kicks in, this money goes really quickly, especially if you want to maintain the same living standard that you've been living while you are gainfully employed and making that income. So as a result, a lot of people I know, my friends, colleagues, people have been thinking of how the best can retire in a more stress-free life. As you can see, a lot of Americans are moving to the Caribbean islands. They only come back to the US or England for medical attention. Then the rest of the time, they're in a very cheap island somewhere in the Caribbean. But for me, a lot of people have been asking, okay, so when I go back home, the money will still go. So what am I going to do to maintain my same living standard, even though it's not a first world country? But how do I maintain a semblance of a good living standard whereby you have access to healthcare, education, water, electricity, and that nature? So people have been thinking, okay, what is the best business to get involved to? When I sell my assets and you want to go to a developing country because things are much cheaper, what are the best businesses to get into? I think number one, you can take a pen and make a note of this. Agribusiness. So this is a thriving sector. It has opportunities in like horticulture. You can do horticulture. You can also get involved in dairy farming. You keep cows and produce milk and cheese and things of that nature. Poultry, you can keep chicken, good chicken. Chicken produce eggs. They also produce the meat that we eat. So you can do poultry farming. Chickens are not like humans. They lay eggs, and within a few weeks, the eggs hatch. So you can sell the eggs, or you can let them produce more eggs and more chicken, which you can later on, number one, use it as food in your house, or you can sell it. So that's another source of income. So even though you still have your pension or money from the diaspora, this is a supplemental income. It can grow to whatever level you want to grow, and it might not even take a lot of space. If you have some kind of land, even if it's an acre, you put your house in a quarter acre, then you have another half acre for chicken or horticulture. You can still do that, and then you don't need 100 cows anymore. You can only need maybe 5 cows that produce milk, and you can even sell that milk. So you can consider investing in modern farming technologies with value addition or agro processing. So you can also go the extra mile, whereby now when you get the milk, now you can produce the cheese. You can buy machinery that produce cheese or things of that nature. Or the eggs, you can package them and export them to other parts of the world that lack eggs. Number two, tourism and hospitality. You know, Africa gets a lot of tourists. You know, countries like Kenya, Kenya is renowned for its wildlife. They have national parks and beautiful, beautiful landscape. You know, the environment is amazing. You know, making tourism a lucrative sector. You can explore opportunities in ecotourism, you know, safari lodges. You know, some of these things are hard to do alone. A lodge is not easy, but of course I would recommend, you know, having a partnership in that venture. Restaurants, you know, when tourists come from England, Germany, Europe, America, they need good quality restaurants. You know, eating in a rundown restaurant is not helping. If you can have the expertise and the knowledge to provide the great experience of a good restaurant where they can eat, it doesn't have to be expensive. You can make simple foods like hamburgers and fries, but the quality is good, the environment is nice and clean. All these tourists are going to come to your restaurant. So you can do that for the tourist. Or you can also get involved in a travel agency. You know, for a long time, people have been thinking travel agencies are over. But travel agencies still exist. You know, not everybody has access to the internet, whereby they can just sit in front of their computer and buy a ticket to Aruba or book hotels or rent a car. Some people do require travel agencies to do all that for them. And the good thing about travel agencies, they still have a payment plan. You know, if you don't have the $2,000 on their credit card, a travel agency will give you an opportunity whereby you can pay $100 a month for 12 months. And then on the 12th month, you have your ticket and your bookings already done. Another thing that you can get involved is technology and innovation. You know, the tech scene in Africa is growing. You know, cities like Johannesburg or Lagos or cities like Nairobi, you can consider starting a tech company focusing on areas such as mobile app development, fintech, e-commerce, and software solutions. You may not have the skills to be a technology person, but those countries have so many educated young men and women. They are just lacking for these opportunities. So you can consider a tech company and use some of your retirement money to set up this company and train these young people to do this up. Real estate sector in Africa is growing. The middle class in Africa is growing faster than anywhere else in the world. You know, this is driven by urbanization and population growth. You know, Africa has the highest number of young people in the entire world. In 10 years, all these people will be looking for housing. So you can invest in residential or commercial properties, or property management services, or real estate development projects. You know, I'm assuming you're coming from a diaspora, maybe you have a little extra change. A lot of people just don't lack this fast investment, and if you can have it, invest in residential or commercial properties. Or get into property management services. You don't have to own the businesses, but you can manage business for real estate gurus. Or you can get involved in development projects. You know, buy a piece of land and put in one house and sell it. If there's a profit, you know, put another house, and then within 4 or 5 years, you have 5 or 6 houses going at the same time. All this create employment in all these developing countries. Another thing people don't look into is healthcare services. You know, there is a growing demand of quality healthcare services in Africa. You could consider setting up a clinic, a pharmacy, a diagnostic center, or a healthcare consultancy. You know, you can partner with the myriad of nurses and doctors in Kenya who are just looking for employment. Come with a healthcare consultancy company or have a diagnostic center. You know, those equipments are affordable in the West. taken to a place in the rural part and combined with a doctor or a health center, do the diagnostics as a cheaper price. All this will get your money back, and your happiness of helping the community will be great. Education and training. There's a demand for quality education and skilled employment in Kenya, Africa, Uganda, Nigeria. You can start a private school or a vocational training center, tutoring service, or even e-learning platforms. All these are areas of opportunity that people are lacking. Renewable energy is another area. A lot of African countries are investing in renewable energy, such as solar, wind, and geothermal power. You can explore opportunities in solar installations, renewable energy, consultancy. I mean, these are things that maybe most, if you've been in the West, it's information that you probably have in your fingertips. So renewable energy consultancy or energy efficiency solutions. Manufacturing is another area you can get into. Again, with the growing middle class and increasing consumer demand, other than real estate, there's opportunities in manufacturing various products, such as consumer products, construction material, agro-processing products. You know, when these people are doing agro-business, they need products. You can easily supply that. Export-oriented business, leveraging your connection and knowledge for both, let's say, the US or the UK, and then now you go back to your home country. You could start an export-oriented business focusing on your country's products. E.g., in Kenya or Uganda or Ethiopia, you can do tea and coffee. You can do flowers. You can do fruit and handicraft for the UK market or the German market or the US market. Again, these are opportunities for you to make that extra money as opposed to just sitting in the house and sitting in the house and watching YouTube. And then consulting services. If you have expertise in a particular field, you could offer consulting services to businesses, organizations in the country you've migrated to. This could include management consulting, financial consulting, marketing consulting, or even legal services. This will all supplement your retirement so you don't retire and just stay there. So before starting any business, it's essential to conduct market research, assess the competitive landscape, understand the local regulatory or local regulations, seek professional advice as needed. You just don't want to jump into an opportunity without doing the research required. And then, or additionally, consider networking with other entrepreneurs and seeking support from organizations that assist diaspora entrepreneurs in their home countries. There's organizations that do that. Seek support from organizations that assist diaspora entrepreneurs in their home countries. So it's doable, it's possible, and it's something that I think all of us who have been in the diaspora and maybe thinking of now relocating or retiring, they're tired of the first world grind, because as you know, it's a rat race, one thing after another, and you make a lot of money, but you already spend it and it's gone, and you're looking for now, okay, what is the next step? Or maybe your children are done with college and you're living in a 5-bedroom house by yourself, that you bought maybe 20 years ago, and you're sitting there, everybody's grown up and gone. What are you going to do? And demands are still there, because you still have to pay your taxes and insurance, and then of course have your regular livelihood, and you have no income coming. So a lot of people are looking for alternative ways to live and to support themselves. So these are the issues that I've been coming across lately, and we've been consulting with the friends and family and just diaspora people. And the question is more and more and more. And that's why I decided that maybe I'll give a list or an opportunity to you all to hear what my little input. And then, of course, you can comment and let me know what you think about it. Okay, with those few remarks, I just want to say thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.